one, have you ever thought about quitting
Yep.
this whole situation? And two, if you did, what would be a life that you could envision or would envision?
Yeah. Yeah. First of all, excellent questions. I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to see you and say hi. But also, um, I think I've been carrying around in my head answers to what I would do. And, it feels like I've been doing this maybe throughout my career as an artist, but recently, let's say, I don't know, maybe even 20, 30 years ago, like there was always not a wish, but a like, I could do this if I was brave enough to make change. And then over the years, I've been increasingly telling myself, again, these are conversations I'm having in my own head, that, oh, it's too late. I can't go back to school for nursing. It's just too late in my life to take on, a real, a relationship with another kind of work. So, pretty consistently, I would say that what I would do is always the same. Like even way back as a young artist, when I was lecturing at the University of Wisconsin to 300 undergrads, and driving home, I think I would say the same thing, and that would be, I would probably go into nursing.
Yeah, yeah. I've often thought that with students that, oh, nursing has such a similar hand skill and discipline. And I don't want to be flippant about the larger context of, really doing something that matters in someone's physical health. But I've
Yes,
often said that to students, like maybe
yes.
nursing, possibly with the time, there can be chunks of time in the studio, or I don't know.
Yeah, and not pragmatically, not like there is a nursing shortage, I would have a job. It's not that at all. And it is exactly what you're talking about. It's the kind of uh kinesthesia of moving, having social relationships, but something is actually bigger than real
Mm,
individual identities, or how people create their own narratives about self. It's like body first. It's like really pragmatic. It's like we,
yeah.
we need you to be healthy emotionally, but I don't need to dwell. You, I can meet you at your human body and respect you without having, you know, backstories, and we can connect that way. I think that is important, especially in a culture that really is doubling down on, identity construction, as a transactional force. Um, so
Yeah.
something that kind of transcends that a little bit, and that is just like, a human conditions of, frailty or health or whatever. So that I think is important, and maybe has become, more compelling. What I truly don't know, and I became a quick fan of The Pit as everybody else is watching The Pit. I don't know different kind of nursing conditions. Like, yes, when I go see my general physician, there's nurses who take your blood pressure, and then you have the nurses who are kind of right on, emergency medicine, and there's all kinds of nurses, I suppose. I never have went that far, but I
Yeah.
have to be perfectly honest. But that is always the thing that is, the has been the draw over decades. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's the fantasy of doing something else, and then there's the practicality of like what when that draw of fantasy, what would that entail in terms of leaving? And some of it's just pragmatic. I just need a salary to keep paying the mortgage because kids were in the house for 35 years of my life. I mean, that's how spread out they are, or were. uh,
Mhm.
and then, so that's pragmatic. And then there's, you know uh, and I think it's getting, again, this goes to a contemporary context where rhythm and predictability are really hard. And even in culture, we know that, exhibition making, studio making, teaching, moving around, going to residencies, there's not much of a pattern to that, right? Kids gave you kind of a rhythm. Maybe it's the academic year that gives me and has always given me a pattern since I've been in school. But I think, as everything feels a bit disordered in life right now, making a change doesn't seem right either, and it hasn't for a while. So that is always something that would dissuade me from, like, I'm just going to give up and do something new. Would
Yeah.
that give me more stability or less stability and just patterns of life? That is something I'm always thinking. Yeah, well, it's pattern disruption. Like, you make a
Yes.
pattern, you can, and you finally kind of settle into the work that you're doing and the rhythms of life without them. And then all of a sudden, there's another load of laundry, and there's just something else happens. And it's not resentment, it's just, getting back into a new
Yeah.
pattern. Yes, and thank you for asking me, because like I said, I have these conversations in my head all the time. I don't even bother bringing them up to my husband or anybody close, because it is hypothetical, but I also think it's really hugely important, as you were saying at the beginning, to understanding the value that you do, the kind of work and labor art requires, the social interface of working with other artists, or those in the art apparatus that support us. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, it's a funny thing. So I am grateful that you asked me this question. It feels kind of nice to say it out loud.